Okay, today we're doing Module 1, Level 2 of A.REI.3, the Reteach. So on this one, we're just going to do a little bit more complicated equations and inequalities. So the first thing I need to do is distribute. I'm going to distribute once, but twice. On the left side, I'll get 50x. 5 times 10 is negative 50 equals 2 negatives make a positive, and I'm going to get a minus 20. Then I usually look to see which variable is smaller, and I usually like to move the smaller one, so I'm going to move the 20x. This cancels out, and I get 30x minus 50 equals negative 20. Then I'm going to add 50 to both sides, and then I get 30x equals 30. Then I'm going to divide by 30, and x equals 1. Taking a look at this, we're going to cross multiply. So when I cross multiply, I'm going to do 4, and I'm going to get 13 minus b equals 6, and then I'm going to get 2 minus 0.5b. Then I'm going to need to distribute not once, but twice. 4 times 13 is 52, minus 4b. 6 times 2 is 12, and 6 times 0.5, or half, is minus 3b. So again, I'm going to look to see which one is smaller, negative 4b or negative 3b. Negative 4b is smaller, so that's the one I typically move first. So I get 52 equals 12, and I'm going to get negative 3 plus 4b is going to get me just a b. I'm going to subtract 12, and when I subtract 12, I get 40 equals b. So taking a look at the next one, I notice I have a negative 60 and a negative 60, so those can cancel out. So I'm going to do that right away. I'm going to look to see which one is smaller, and I see that 54 is definitely smaller, so I'm going to subtract that. But don't be scared. That's going to be leaving you a 0. And 0 is a number, which is why I'm going to make sure we go over it, because you guys don't like that as an answer. And a 0 is a number, and you do get a 0 as an answer. Taking a look at this one, you're going to distribute. So I have a negative 16n minus 16, and I distribute, and I get 2 plus 2n. Again, I look to see which one is smaller. The negative 16 is the smaller one, so I'm going to add 16n. So I get a negative 16 equals 2 plus 18n. I'm going to subtract 2. And when I do, I get a negative 18 equals 18n, divide by 18, and I'm going to get n equals negative 1. Now let's take a look at this, and just like we did with level 1, if I don't like all the fractions, I'm going to look to see for my common denominator. Since my denominator is 3, I'm going to multiply each and every term by 3. The 3's cancel out, and you get 4x. That's going to get me a negative 9. 3 times 3 is 9. That's going to get me a 3x. The 3's cancel out, and I get a plus 2. The 3 cancels out, and I get a negative 1x. Then I'm going to combine like terms on the right side. So I get 4x minus 9 is less than, and I'm going to get 2x plus 2. Then I'm going to subtract the 2x because it's the smaller variable. And I get 2x minus 9 is less than 2. Then I'm going to add 9 to both sides. And I'm going to get 2x is less than 11. I'm going to divide by 2, and x is less than or equal to 11 over 2. Another way of writing it is x is less than 5 and 1 over 1, 5 and a half, or 5.5. So taking a look at this, I do 4, 5, and 6. It's going to be between 5 and 6. I know it's an open dot. And since it's an open dot, I'm going to have an open dot. The arrow is pointing to my left hand, so I'm going to be going to my left side. Taking a look at this, I'm going to look to see which variable is smaller. And I notice that the 4 is smaller, so I'm going to subtract that. So I get a negative 11 is less than or equal to 7a plus 10. I'm going to subtract 10. And at same signs, add and keep, I get a negative 21 is less than or equal to 7a. Divide by 7. And I'm going to get a negative 3 is less than or a. Now keep in mind, this is not an acceptable answer. An acceptable answer means that the variable has to be on your left-hand side. And so it's greater than or equal to negative 3. That's going to help me graph because I know it's negative 4, negative 3, negative 2. Since the arrow is pointing to my right hand, I am going to have a closed dot because there's an equal sign underneath it, and it's going to go to my right. Now this one, I'm going to look to see which one is smaller. Obviously, the 8p is smaller, so I'm going to add the 8p. That's going to get me 20p plus 132 is greater than or equal to 64. I'm going to subtract 132, and I'm going to get 20p is greater than or equal to 68. I'm going to divide by 20, and I'm going to get p is greater or than equal to, and I have to reduce this should be a negative 68, negative 68 over 20. I got to reduce that, and I'm going to get a negative 17 over 5, or p equals negative 3 2/5, or p is greater than or equal to negative 3.4. So when I graph it, it's going to be between negative 3 and 4. So I'm going to put it on here. I'm going to have a negative 2, a negative 3, a negative 4. It's going to be between them, so it's right around here. It's going to be a closed dot, and it's going to go to my right. Taking a look at the next one, I'm going to distribute. So I have 9 minus 9r is less than or equal to 9 plus 18r. The smaller one is the minus 9, so I'm going to add 9r to both sides. I get 9 is less than or equal to 9, and that's going to get me plus 27r. Then I'm going to subtract 9. Oh, there we go again with that answer you guys don't like. Is that 0? But I'm going to have to divide. I'm just going to divide down here. We got room. 27. If I divide by 27, I'm going to get 0 is less than or equal to r. So 0 is less than or equal to r. Remember, I don't like that. I have to have r on the left side. So r is greater than or equal to 0. And then I'm going to put in here a negative 1, 0, and 1. It's a closed dot, and it's going to go to my right. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.